accidentally created a portfolio of clips. And eventually they started paying me the whopping sum of $25 an article to write original content.
Great.
And I was suddenly a writer.
Yeah. Now, you did that for a while, but as I understand it, you were canned on your 25th birthday.
Yeah, not from that job. I had moved from the magazine to, because I had accidentally created this portfolio, I heard of a job at a big advertising agency that was looking for the first time in 8 years for a writer. And it said, portfolio a must.
Right.
I had a portfolio, so it was great. So I interviewed, I got this job, and it was, I thought I was, it was 30-something.
No, this is in Florida.
Yeah, that was also in Florida. We had a basketball hoop in the hallway, and I had my own big glass corner office looking out on the downtown, and it was fabulous. And yeah, I got canned on my birthday. So I started freelancing, and I started freelancing for little local agencies and magazines. And I just decided on a whim that I would start sending some unsolicited manuscripts to big national, because you do that.
Right.
No, you don't. You don't. You're never, ever supposed to do that. And I got a call one day from an editor at Vogue.
Oh, wow.
And she said, I'm actually quitting my job. I said, well, thanks for the call. And she said, but I'm going to 17, and I'm interviewing for a staff writer, and I'd love for you to come interview. We can't pay your expenses. We can't put you up. I'm interviewing 200 people from New York. But if you want to come up, we'd love to talk to you.
You'd love to be one of the 200,
Yeah.
And you got it.
I flew up. They offered me the job on the spot. I said yes. I came home. My mom said, what's your salary? And I said, I didn't ask. I don't know. I don't care. I'll live on somebody's couch.
All right. And did you?
No, I was at the salary. I just kept saying, please don't end in teen, please don't end in teen. It didn't. And I could afford a very small, crappy New York apartment.
Now, how old were you? You're older than 17, as most of the audience.
Slightly older. I was in my mid-20s at the time,
Now, this is, it seems to me, kind of a ripe Jenna McCarthy territory to be writing about 17 magazine issues from that perspective. How did you find your way into creating this content for this magazine?
Well, fortunately, I was a staff writer, so I had editors giving me assignments.
Do this,
yeah, I was not one of the idea people. Most of the editors were, at the time, older, 32 or whatever. But, you know, the writers, we were just told, here's your assignment, here's your story. You know,
and what sort of things do you remember writing for 17?
I wrote a sex column. I wrote a car column. I wrote fashion copy, beauty copy, relation. I did more quizzes. Does he like you? I mean, I can't. Yeah, the boyfriend. All about the boyfriend. That was big stuff. For cover lines. 17. You kind of started with the cover lines. What will sell this issue? So you'd come up with the ideas. Like, okay, is he into you? Yeah. Okay, Jenna, write that because we need that on the cover.
Now, you didn't stay at 17 forever.
I did not.
Talk about your next move there.
I was actually really happy there, and I stayed there longer than most people did, probably 4 years, which is a lifetime in publishing. In New York, the magazine industry is fairly small, relatively, and a little incestuous, so people just hop from one, you know, you're an editor here, then you're a senior editor, then you're a managing editor. So I went to Mademoiselle next, which, you know, kind of made sense. It was the next age jump, really. Mademoiselle no longer exists, but I don't think I had anything to do with that. And I worked there for 3 more years, and then I came out to California just for a vacation, and it happened to be during a major blizzard in New York. And I came out here, and I brought my rollerblades, and I was in Santa Monica, and I was rollerblading on the Strand, and I turned to my friend, and I said,
I'm not going back.
Not going back. No, can't do it.
How many people have said that?
Not going back. So I didn't. I went back to pack up my stuff. I went to quit my job at Mademoiselle. They said, you can still do your job from California. You can be a West Coast editor.
So you're a West Coast editor?
Yeah, for a couple of years.
And so what sort of things were you writing at that point?
Same kind of stuff. Yeah, the same kind of stuff. I eventually, when I went freelance, the choice was, well, here I have this regular gig. It's X amount of dollars a month. You know, I wasn't a salaried employee, but I had a guaranteed certain amount of income. But I also had to sign non-compete clauses, so I couldn't write for any of their competitive magazines, and their competitive magazines were anyone that I would want to write for, all the national women's magazines. So I said, thanks, but no thanks, and I didn't sign. After 2 years, I think, I didn't renew my contract, and I just started writing for pretty much everybody,
So people, will they know your name, Jenna McCarthy? And I know you've done a little bit of ghostwriting, which we're not going to talk about. But you were signing your name under your, you know.
Oh yeah. I've always used my name. There were a few instances where when I was on staff at a magazine or other, I would be approached by another magazine to write something, and I have 4 or 5 pen names out there, little things I've written, but
Nothing.
Yeah, for the most part, Jenna McCarthy,
Jenna,
not Jenny.
Jenny, yeah,
People,
right.
Not Jenny. I get that all the time.
So how did you find your way from Los Angeles to Santa Barbara?
Isn't it always about a guy?
Yeah,
I met my husband. I came up here on a weekend trip to go kayaking.
Oh, okay.
And he owned an adventure tour company at the time, and he was my guide. And we kind of dated
Sparks flew, okay.
long distance for a while, and then I moved up here.
Okay. And you guys, you got married, you have, we're going to move us back into the parent trip. Now, was your husband someone who always wanted to have kids?
Always.
Yeah.
Oh, it was his reason for being, I mean, it was a potential deal breaker for a while. I can't say I absolutely didn't want to have kids, but for me, it was one of those, I could go either way.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can be with somebody who genuinely believes it's his purpose in life to procreate.
Right.
I just didn't get that at all. At all.
Did he come from a big family?
4 kids.
4 kids.
Youngest of 4, you know, an awesome family. I mean, they're great. I love my family. I'm super close to my family. I just seemed like a lot of work.
Yeah.
And not so much fun.
Yeah, well, I love the fact that you're able to get so much humor out of that, because oftentimes when you are parenting, there is nobody around to applaud or to do anything except it's just you realizing that you're putting in more grinding work and you're not going to get any payback for it.
That's pretty much why I wrote this book. It's really hard. I mean, from the minute you're pregnant, it's just everything about becoming that person, the parent, is so hard. And I'm the kind of person that if I can't laugh, I gotta laugh through anything. I laugh at funerals. They're not funny, but I mean, how are you gonna get through it?
Right.
That's just my coping mechanism, so.
Well, let's dip back into the parent trip, and we're gonna move along a little bit. You talked about pre-pregnancy.
Yeah.
What are we gonna hear now?
Okay, this is actually one of my favorite sections, going back to the shock jock thing. It's a section called Mommy's Dead, Fun and Enlightening Tales for Tots. Nobody dies in this book, by the way. Excuse me. My favorite urban legends website insists that the time-honored nursery rhyme Ring Around the Rosary is not, as myth suggests, a song about children carrying flowers in their pockets to mask the stench of death that permeated the air during the Black Plague. No, it's just a bunch of silly words strung together, like a tisket a tasket or hey diddle diddle. Fair enough. But what about the unfortunate rockabye baby, or poor irreparable Humpty Dumpty, Jack and Jill with their fractured skulls, and that guy who dies in his sleep and it's raining, it's pouring?